Good evening. Today is Thursday, June 5th, 2025. This is the work session of the Schools Board of the School Board Trustees of School City of East Chicago, and the time is 6:16. The place is Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street, East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. This is also being shown via live stream at www.scec.k12.in.us. This is the meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school board's corporation's business, and it's not to be considered a public meeting, community meeting. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Trustee Gomez.
Present.
Trustee Smith.
Present.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Present.
Trustee Taylor.
Present.
Madam President Gibson King.
Present. Now we'll turn the meeting over to our superintendent, Dr. Bonet.
Good evening again, school board. We are ready to review all of the items for our June 10th board meeting. We will start with items in the consent agenda, questions regarding the claim docket.
Claim dockets.
Okay.
I have a question. Are you ready to ask?
Oh, yes. Yeah, any questions for the claim dockets?
Yes,
Go ahead, trustee Smith.
Madam President, page 7, claim 86285. Ms. Simmons?
Page 7.
Yes,
Can you read the number again for me?
I'm sorry.
What did you say?
86285.
That's the claim docket?
She's reading the claim number, not the check number,
Oh,
page 7.
okay.
Okay, okay.
Page
Got it.
7.
Oh, 82765?
Yes.
I'm reading the claim number, not the check number. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. Those are the district required all-star tickets for the game for tomorrow night, which, one of our students is playing in, Mr. Dominique.
Okay, thank you.
Hey.
This is probably not for you, but this is probably for HR. Page 13, claim 86284. Oh, no, it might have been for you. Was this an insurance payout of a death benefit?
Yeah, they see something like that.
Yeah,
Check number 117954.
Correct.
sorry.
Yeah.
Check number 117954?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Page 17, I have the right number now, 117958. I think this would be a HR question. I'm just curious, I know that we were under, some of our employees were under United Healthcare, but I also see Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it's just kind of confusing. Can somebody just explain? Some employees are under Blue Cross Blue Shield, some of them under United Healthcare. Could you just, and some of them are under Porter Healthcare.
Porter Trust is, okay, let me say this, we're under United Healthcare. Every department, we're all under United Healthcare. We used to be under Blue Cross Blue Shield, but now I believe Blue Shield. Porter Trust is like the umbrella of everything. So for instance, we could go through Porter Trust to get free medications, to go to different doctors and things. So Porter Trust is more of a group thing with many, there are other districts who are part of Porter Trust.
Okay.
Okay? But we all have United Healthcare. Now, we did have Blue Cross, like I came August 30th. We had Blue Cross for 1 month, and then we switched over to United Healthcare.
So were all employees aware of the changes?
Yes, everybody was notified in advance. This was something that they had in place before I even came, because Porter Trust, which is run by Caleb, our person of contact is Caleb Whitmer, and he apparently worked with the district to get the United Healthcare for the district.
So, one more question. So when is open enrollment? When is open enrollment?
And it's start around in September, late August, early September.
So are we looking at a different company now?
Well, Leela, you hear that? You missed it. So she asked, were we looking at a different company besides United Healthcare? Don't we have to wait a certain amount of time with that?
So, I think I have talked to Joel about this also. We're under contract with Porter Trust, and I do believe it's till 2026, I do believe. So our contract doesn't end till 26, as when contract ends in 26, we are available to either stay with Porter Trust, or we're available to look for our own independent insurance.
Okay. Thank you.
And
Yeah.
it's the intention of this administration to look at other partners to get a better rate for insurance for our staff.
Okay. Don't sit down yet. Page 20. Page 20, 117969.
I'm gonna ask Tammy about this one. I'm pretty sure it's one of her, contracts.
What's that one?
Chords. On page 20, I think it's your contract.
One 7969. For claim 86805.
I need to look at
It's a
the,
different name, because sometimes they're.
yeah, it's doing business as something else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have to look at the parent name of this company, because it's doing business as another name.
That could be.
Okay,
So I'll let you know before the end of the board meeting what it is.
okay, now, page 21. 4266 DD.
Yes.
Okay, is that the last payout for that?
No, it isn't.
No?
No, it's not. We actually, we have a meeting tomorrow.
Okay. Page. Page 24. 1179 117982. Is that provision for special needs?
No. 117982.
Yes.
It's a
is
credit
wrong.
memo for, books,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
a credit for books.
oh, it's a
Okay.
credit.
I guess
It's a credit, yeah, it's a credit. So we either return something or they shorted one of our,
Okay.
This was the amount,
if you look on,
and this was the amount?
yes, this was the amount.
I'm looking at this wrong.
It,
Okay, well,
Excuse me. Madam President, on the same item,
Yes.
if this was a credit, then
is the, on the invoice, it will stay what it is for. Oops, I'm sorry. Oh, it's the math curriculum, I'm sorry.
so my question is, if these books were not delivered, what did we do in lieu of them not being here?
I'm sorry?
You said that these are credits, that these were credits that, if I heard you correctly, the books that did not arrive. So if books did not arrive, how was instruction conducted? I'm assuming that $68,571.09.
So these would be books for the next school year. These are, we in a contract, a 3 to 4 year contract with our textbook company. So this is a bill for the next school year.
oh, this is the bill for 25, 26?
Garfield?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the program that we have too. That's our curriculum, right?
It's our curriculum.
But
So
I guess what you're saying, so if it's a credit,
McGraw a
then-
2 or 3?
We got 3 more years, and those are consumables, so every year we
Okay.
get those. Bill, and, do I have to go over there, Michelle? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm coming.
Come over here. We have to pay for the consumables. They're back there in the hallway.
anybody want to stay on?
So we have 3 years left on this contract with McGraw-Hill, and they're consumables. You all know, like workbooks, things of that nature. So every year, they send us a certain amount at the beginning of the school year, so they can be in the students' hands on the first day of school. And so that's what that is for. Because the original contract, I don't know what it was, it might be for 300 something,
Yes.
300
But,
something.
I thought it
It's
was,
a
yeah.
large one, and then they give us, they
Yeah,
bill
that's
us every year.
I do know it was not more than 3 years because I would not sign off on a 6-year anymore. Prior to me getting here, they were signing off on 6-year contracts with book companies. And at that time, either the books were obsolete and there's a new version
Change the
coming out,
standards.
or the Indiana changed their standards. So the contract is pertaining to it. So we'll get the books every year up into the contract. So this is a math one. So this was the one that was voted on, I do believe, last summer,
No, so,
summer before last?
yeah, you all had it 2 years prior to me coming in.
Yeah.
I came in September of '23, so you all had it for 2 years. And the teachers wanted just to renew that, so they had enough time to massage it, use it, evaluate it, and they wanted to pick it back up for the remaining 3 years instead of starting all over again and doing something different, you know. But you gotta remember, every time you bring in, you adopt new curriculum, that also means new training. And we're not giving it enough time to use it with consistency and fidelity to see if it's really effective. So according to the teachers, they were pleased with McGraw-Hill, so we extended that contract another 3 years, which is 5 years. And in most cases, when Indiana does the adoption cycle, it is every 5 years. However, Ms. Sims, she does hers, like she said, she did hers every 2 years or 2 or 3 years. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So that's what that's for.
So to me, in my mind, there's still a gap here. You're telling me that this is for 25, 26 school year. Is that correct?
Yes, should be.
So,
I don't have the invoice in front of me, but it should be.
yeah, I would think the board would need to know that.
Is
What-
it not included?
It should be in our package here.
Is it not included in the invoice, is the invoice not included in that one?
Okay, well, is it that?
So, on that note, can we just pull this item then?
The books are already here, sir.
I just thought I heard you say that they're not delivered.
No, they're back there in the hallway. And
So
matter of
how are
fact,
we getting
I'm
the
sorry,
credit?
I'm sorry, they're not back there in the hallway. They're actually at the schools because Mike been delivering them for 2 days now. So the books are at the schools.
They're at the schools, but you're telling me that this is a credit.
I'm sorry.
He said you said it was a credit.
$800 is a credit. Your full amount is listed right in front of that, which is $271,788.47. Is right in front of that number.
So the credit is 83307.
Correct. If you go to your next page,
Yeah, we did.
okay. It gives you the total of that check amount. Right there in the top line of, the dollar amount is right above that dotted line.
So with the credit,
We just have to put that in the, we have to put that in the.
Back into, yeah.
I have to put that in the system to show that there was a credit.
And it probably came from a discount or something.
okay,
Did we not include that? Don't see it?
that's enough, that's it for me, I don't know about anybody.
Thank you, trustee Smith.
Did you have that?
Trustee Taylor, is that not in that, in the invoices?
Search right now and I can't find it. But could be me.
You looking for the invoice?
You want the invoice,
Yeah, the
right?
invoice.
It's around page 71.
Shoot, this stuff ain't numbered. Oh, you talking
Oh,
about it?
yeah, sorry, got it.
Okay.
It's on page 72. Oh,
The invoices, is in the invoices?
yes, invoices for the docket that were emailed on Tuesday, I believe.
I think you print the invoices out for Word, correct?
So is there one credit then?
We want this one credit.
So, if you look at the actual docket, you got $68,000 4 times. So there should be 4 invoices in there for 68,000, or they put it all on one. Yes. And then there's a credit memo also should be in there for the $833. So when we make out the check, we're only making it out for $271.
So the credit, I can see the 68,571. And I'm assuming those are for the elementary schools?
Yes.
Each school gets the same amount of books?
Yeah.
So then what is the credit for again?
I don't have the invoice in front of me to tell you exactly
It
what it
says
is.
credit memo,
Okay.
MI Vision, and then I've asked before to be more description here. I can't give you more than what I see.
Are you looking at the claim docket or the invoices? Trustee Gomez?
I'm looking at the claim docket.
Is there a character limit in the description on the claim docket?
That's the reason why we start giving out full invoices, because there is a character limit. And trustee Gomez has asked for more description, but I can't,
No, I could see like this one's cut off.
yeah, I can't do the more description. So that's when we're giving out the invoices now, so y'all can see the physical invoices.
That's all I have. You have anything else?
Yeah, I got something, everybody, I just have an invoice here, I'm not in the, it's for Main Sporting, for 7 shirts.
That is for EL specialists.
Yeah, did they go, what was this for, though? I mean, what did they need shirts for?
I do believe for back to school.
Oh, back to school?
I saw that.
I have another one related to the same company, Madam President.
Yes.
Okay, page 26, 117981,
Page 26.
26. Trying the middle of the page, 117981.
Okay, 981, yes, mm-hmm.
26. I forget it. And what you say was?
117981.
981, mm-hmm.
It was the 117981.
It's the main sporting goods.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the T-shirts for Parent University.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Those T-shirts were at Main Sporting Good before we canceled Parent University. If he did not produce the T-shirts, he had to send them T-shirts back, he would have charged us a restocking fee. So there is no date on the Parent University T-shirt, so we can use it this year, next year, whenever we have our Parent University.
On page 20, the last item there, 117988.
What's the number, Jesse?
It's the 117988.
And that's on the next page?
The last page of, I'm sorry, last item on page 21.
2021.
Can you read that number again for me?
117988 on page 20. I apologize, page 20.
Stericycle, the medical waste.
So Stericycle is a company that picks up waste, meaning medical waste out of all our nurses' offices.
Okay, I saw that.
That has been around since 2016. It was brought in by Mr. Mark Hahn. I actually just canceled the contract.
Yeah, I think you did say you was gonna cancel this. I remember you said that.
Yeah, it's-
Are we,
people looking at me like, no, you didn't.
are we bidding
No, I
that?
just heard something that sounded familiar, so.
Stair
Yeah,
cycle.
that sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
You said she was gonna cancel it.
Yes, we've talked about it quite a bit, yes.
yes.
So we're bidding this out?
I'm sorry.
We're bidding this this medical waste removal out?
So my intentions is to work with the city, because my understanding, the city allows us to, at the fire department, that we can dump waste there. Because these are medical, these are needles that the kids. So my intention is to work with the city. Currently, they're here picking up nothing. There
Right.
is the biggest amount that they
That was-
pick up at, it would be at Central.
Right.
So also this contract included OSHA training, that no one knew how to get a hold to the person to do OSHA training. So it was time to eliminate this contract because it was wasteful to the district. So for the amount of medical waste that they are picking up at the high school, I'm looking to talk to the city to see if we can just get something with that.
And there
And
does,
if that does not work out, we will bid it out.
and the people handling this do need to be trained, so,
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be Ms. Bobo to handle that.
okay, thank you.
No, you got anything down there, trustee Taylor?
No.
Okay.
Have some more, Chelsea? You done? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do trustee Rodriguez has anything? No?
Yes, is trustee Joel, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm still here.
Okay.
Anything else for claim docket?
That's it for claim docket.
Alrighty. And now we'll go to the personnel report on the new business, item 6.01. Questions regarding the personnel report?
You're on 26 and 27. These items should not be on the personnel report. They have to be not discussed at this time because it's not been discussed. 26 and 27.
What's the question?
There's no question.
I'll address the comment, and obviously consult our board attorney. So these items were approved in an MOU from the board on August 29th under the College Career Coaching Grant. Mr. Harris, can you advise what our steps is or advice for the board when they've already approved an MOU regarding payment?
So, let me pull this item up.
As he's looking that up, was the work already done?
Yes.
So what item in particular are we talking about?
Personnel report number 26 and
26
27.
and 27. It was tabled. We have not discussed it.
In the superintendent's weekly update, he provided documentation regarding the discussion.
But we didn't, we're going to discuss it in the exec session. It was in your update, yeah, but we didn't discuss it as a board.
So can you just describe a little further what was already approved?
The career coaching grant was approved as an MOU in August. In that career coaching grant, it detailed that there would be $15,000 allocated for administrators to serve over the career coaching grant, and the other $5,000 was for field trips. So the administrators who are serving in that role are the ones on the claim docket.
And it wasn't the thought that the specific personnel action subsequent to the approval of the MOU generally would come back before the board? What you're asking or indicating is that that is a blanket approval for everything associated with it because the funding is there.
The funding is there and the MOU was approved.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the thought process was from the board's perspective. I understand the overview that, hey, if it's listed there, then there's pre-approval. On the flip side, I can see the board also taking the position that we agreed to fund it, but we didn't necessarily have the information necessary to approve the administrators who would
That's
be
right.
involved.
That's right.
And at what rate they would be paid based upon their experience, et cetera. So,
That is true.
I understand the overview of the superintendent, but I also see the flip side of why
Yes.
the board would expect to still be presented with this additional information, because it's almost like a budget that's approved in the MOU for administrators. Like, that's how much will be devoted to it, but not necessarily the breakdown of how it's going to be expended, to who and based upon how
Right.
much time they'll be spending, what level of expertise or experience they have, et cetera. So, this is
So
one of
why-
those.
Why would it, I guess
Go ahead.
my question, the question I had, since this was approved already in August, 29th, why did it come back for approval? What am I missing?
What is it doing on the docket again? And
No.
then too, in the MOU, that's right, because in the MOU, it did not have these individuals' names on it. And we were under the impression that when we saw it, it was teachers.
Well, I think that's actually what my point is, that if it's the position of the administration that was already approved, there wouldn't be a need for anything, for any board approval right
That's
now.
right.
Because it's already approved. So it's either, it's on the personnel report unnecessarily because it's already pre-approved, or it's kind of what I was explaining. Yeah, the board did expect to get this back later, but it would be prior to them performing the service as opposed to
Yeah, so
afterwards.
that's why we need to table it, so we can get a better understanding of what we saw in the MOU. Because Helen was here at the last board meeting, and she spoke about this too. She said something about this should have been some teachers, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think the MOU had these individuals' names in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
It
so
did
I don't
not.
think.
So see, this is what I'm saying.
I think the point,
So, see,
I think the
his
point
names
is well
are coming
taken,
here.
that that's the
Right.
reason for the
Can you tell us who
question
it
from the
was?
board,
That's
is
right.
that they didn't have that information she's talking about at the time it was approved in the MOU. So if that's the basis of tabling it, it wouldn't be to undo the prior approval of the MOU, but rather to just get information on the request that's being made, and that's a personnel approval,
Do we have?
which they don't have. They don't have that information.
Okay. Do we have any, let me see how I can articulate my question. Because the work was already done, are we legally binded to pay it out? Like, do we have any, is there any legal risk to withholding these funds even though, because the work has been done already?
Yeah, I mean, short of something that's really alarming, my recommendation would always be to pay someone who's performed the service. So it doesn't mean the board members can't get the information they're requesting,
Correct.
right? It's a fair request. But you're asking me a separate question, that's whether or not we have exposure. If we don't pay someone who has already done the work, yes, there's exposure if we don't pay someone who's
But
performed
we're
work.
not trying to pay them. We're not saying we're not trying to pay
I
them.
know you're not. You're
That's
just saying
not
you
what
want
we-
the information.
That's right.
I understand.
And from now on, we would like to have, see, we find ourselves, with such as this here, these individuals are not teachers, okay? And so the question that Helen had, why would they be the individuals doing this service if it was a grant? Sees? So that's was one of my concerns right there. So we will revisit this, like I said, we had tabled it, we didn't discuss it, you did give us the information, it ain't been discussed through the board.
And I think if you are going to discuss it again, it should serve as an example of what the board wants to see in terms of detail going
Yes.
forward. And then also maybe just how this works in general, so that the
Right.
board has a better understanding and
Yes.
it won't happen this way next time.
Yes, thank you, that's what I'm saying.
Madam President,
Yes, trustee Rodriguez.
okay, so we're talking about items 27 and 28 with regards to the amount of 2,000 for each of these individuals, is that what I'm looking at?
Not so much as the amount of the individuals, that it was not, we don't have a clear understanding of it, Joel. That's what that is.
This is back in 7/1 of 2024, is that right?
This was when now?
It says 7/1 of 2024. So July 1st of 2024, is that when the MOU was initiated, or?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I don't have it in front of me, I can't answer that.
August of
I'm looking at the
Oh, okay.
board docs online, so I don't know what you guys have in front of you, but was it in 2024 is when this MOU was initiated? Attorney Harris?
That, excuse me,
Missed the
but
question. What was this question? Oh,
You want to know when was it initiated?
oh,
the
I don't have
services.
that in front of me. I'm not sure.
it shows 7/1/2025, not
Yeah.
24.
25, okay.
Right,
Was initiated when?
it's on the personnel report.
7/1/25.
Yes, 7/1/2025. Okay.
So the date on the MOU that we had board action on the MOU in the past, correct? On this subject?
I don't think so, Joel.
The superintendent is saying we
He
did
Okay,
previously.
he said we did.
I just don't have the MOU in front of me
Yeah,
to give you
Jewel
a
don't
date
have
or
it.
anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's in, board
Oh, okay.
And so that's why we're going to discuss it, trustee Rodriguez, thank you.
Other questions for personnel report?
This. Part of this personnel.
Madam President?
Yes, trustee Rodriguez.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Pretty good?
yeah, can you hear
Are you
us?
able to hear me or no?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I just want to make sure that there's no delay in my
Oh, no,
I
no.
was explaining. So
Oh, Trustee
anyways,
Smith is getting ready to-
2728, item 2728 in the personnel report. So has the work been done? And why is it being brought, we understand, and I know, I'm not sure what we're going to do with it at this point, but if the work's been done and these two individuals have done the work, and yet all we need is, are we looking for more clarification as to what happened
Yes,
to,
yes.
to the
that's-
previous
that's my
board
question.
action?
Looking for
What
more
are we looking at here?
clarification. Because we tabled it, remember, and we've not discussed it. We have not had any conversation about this at all. This is about the most we've had since then, and it's still, we don't have anything in front of us, to,
Okay,
yeah,
so did we table this right now, or did we
Yeah,
table it in the past?
no, at the last board meeting, because it was on the
tabled,
agenda.
We tabled the
ahead.
last board meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're bringing it up to discussion. So the question that I still have is, has the work been done for them to receive the stipend for these two individuals?
Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Bonet said has been.
And the work
Okay.
is ongoing.
So if we had an MOU that was approved by this board, and yet we had the services done by the administration, what are we tabling? If an MOU was already executed with board action?
It's my understanding that the reason being that we tabled it because when we got the MOU, we did not have these individuals' names in there providing the services. That's the question right there.
Yeah, the tabling is of the personnel action
Yeah, that's the question.
only. It's of the personnel action.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Ms.
now that we
Harris.
see the individuals, now we do see the individuals tied to this particular MOU, are we in the process of moving forward on Tuesday, or what's the status?
We got an exec session tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam President, I just guess my question is.
Go ahead, trustee Gomez.
And I think we started the conversation earlier. Why does this end up on the personnel report if the MOU was
Already
executed
approved. That's
and
right.
two people did the work already? Shouldn't this be showing up in a claim docket as opposed to a personnel report?
In order for it to be listed.
Yeah, I agree
As a
with trustee
personnel,
Gomez on that one.
in order for it to be listed as personnel action for the payroll to process it. So they don't process just on an MOU.
but, okay, so that would be kind of like a teacher stipend and what have you. Okay,
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think
Okay.
that is the way it should
Yeah.
happen. If they're current employees and it's gonna run through payroll, this is how it has to be
good,
approved.
okay, thanks.
Thank you. Trustee Smith?
Just some clarification from HR on, number, I don't know if it's number 4, number 5, on these non-renewals. Number 4 or number 5, this statement under this, where it says 529 personnel report job title correction, is that for number 4 or that's for number 5?
That was for. Hold on, let me look at my, what one.
For number,
Because she was, on the 29th, it had paraprofessional on it, and it should have had, teacher on it.
Should have, who should say should have had teacher?
did you see it?
I'm looking
See,
for it,
it's kind of confusing right there.
yeah. She got that.
You don't know
Report
who
to
it's
job
for.
Title correction. Who is this for?
So that's for number 5.
So this is for number 5. The 529 personnel report job title and the correction, and all of that's for that particular person, right?
Yes, for person number 5.
Okay. So now, with the resignations, have we started to, because we're in June, have we started to, post these positions for those positions that?
Yes,
Okay.
they are posted, and we've been recruiting. And HR has 2 internal job fairs scheduled for, one for June and one for July. In addition, all the principals are also interviewing people.
I also saw a nice flyer circulating through Facebook regarding we're hiring and all the roles are on there, so it's pretty cool.
Thank
And
you,
it's on several like Facebook pages, group pages, so it's circulating.
thank you. Can I make a point of reference for just to make the board aware? At the 29th board meeting, the union president asked for us to remove the non-renewals to allow them an opportunity to resign. So only one so far has submitted a resignation. So you will see that name again, but on the next report for the 24th one, you'll see one of these names again as a resignation. If I receive the others between now and time to prepare for that meeting, then we'll switch those and put them on there for resignation as well.
Madam President,
Yes, Trustee Gomez.
while we're on this subject, these were non-renewed for the expiration of their EPs, correct?
Pardon me?
They were non-renewed for the expiration of their emergency permits.
No, they were non-renewed based on the principal's recommendation.
Right, 'cause
Dr.
she
Bornay,
got-
didn't you say this was an emergency permit?
They are
sure?
emergency permit teachers.
Their emergency permit, but they also were non-renewed on principal recommendation.
Yeah, I saw that, the principal's recommendation.
Yeah, I saw it in here.
I saw it too, so, these 3 people, no, couldn't be, I'm on the wrong page. Am I on the retiree page? Am I on the right page?
No.
Used to be on the
Page
non-
3,
page
We're talking
three.
about,
16, 17, 18?
no,
Or
2
I'm
through
on a
5.
different page.
Yeah, 2, 3, and 5. That one that, yeah, you on the page. Let's see, is that it? No,
No.
flip it over. 2, 3, 4, and 5.
2, 3, 4.
Right, all these are non-renewals.
Okay. Okay, so, non-renewal because they were on an emergency permit.
No,
No,
let me clarify something. They have a emergency permit, but they were non-renewed based on principal recommendation
Right.
due to performance.
In this, their letters are in here.
Yes,
yes, all right.
okay. So we have a lot of EPs,
Okay.
and all EPs by the state of Indiana have to renew their licenses July 1st or thereafter. But these were specifically for principal recommendation.
And were these employees evaluated and given a performance improvement plan?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Yes.
Yeah.
The principals have those documents.
I wanted to ask about item 16, under the retirees.
So since we're speaking of personnel, has each principal been given an evaluation? And if we're talking about personnel, since
But they still
since they
here.
want to
though.
recommend,
Yeah, these people, I see the letters that they wrote
Yeah.
on individuals.
Right, and we focus on these
Yeah,
personnel
we
items.
gonna focus on that because, all of this gets to be all tangled up when you see it. You see one side
just
and
want to
then
make
you.
sure it all works
Yeah,
together.
right, it just should, but it don't. But go ahead, trustee Smith. That's
I
another
just want to
topic.
make sure that it all works together. 'cause
Right.
It's easy to point a finger
Right,
and you're not doing what you're supposed to do either.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying. I'm done with it.
My
Thank you,
question
trustee.
was on the retirees, in item 16.
Yes.
I believe the board approved a transfer from Lincoln to Block and Block to Lincoln at our last board meeting. Now that we have a individual who's part of that involuntary transfer showing up on our retiree page, item number 16, what are we doing now?
I can only have my coordinator post the information. So if I receive a letter of resignation from someone, then we have to post it in there, or a letter of retirement, then we have to post it on there under retirements.
I understand that. My question is, there's clearly going to be a vacancy at Block.
That's what, okay. So in terms of a vacancy, we began to hire or seek candidates and interview for the position. As soon as anybody submits a resignation or a retirement, we are allowed to post the position, providing we still need the position. And then once it gets posted, then we begin the process of candidates. We look at the applications, the principals look at the applications, we set up the interview process, and they make a recommendation in writing.
I want to ask a question about these you finished, trustee Gomez?
Yes, thank
Extra
you.
duties here, or the instructional coaches. Now, did we hire them all year round?
Yes.
So why are we, why are they getting stipends if we hire them all year
The
round?
school year is over, they're not hired all
Okay.
year round, so. just
Okay,
like
so they
all
only
other
hire for
teachers.
11 months?
Correct.
For 11 months?
Oh.
Is that right?
I thought you meant for all school year.
It
They're
is
hired for all school year. And then in the summer, that's probably professional development or summer work that they're doing. Let me find it.
And what is the instructional, what is that framework? What is this? School year instruction, what is this, Dr. Renee, for 3 hours a day?
They're working on the AVID curriculum. A number of teachers, a number of our curriculum projects do take place in summer curriculum projects over the summer. So our coaches are working on the AVID curriculum for next school year.
So these instructional coaches are for teachers, correct?
They're, yes,
Okay, before we get to the other part, that's for principals.
right, these are for teachers.
Okay.
Other questions regarding the personnel report?
Just
I just-
related to that, Dr. Bernay, are instructional coaches dedicated to a grade or to a building?
They are district-wide, and so they can be deployed, but they are assigned by building. So they will be collectively working on a curriculum, not just for one building, but for all of the AVID program, or whatever curriculum project they're working on.
Has there been any thought to assigning them by grade levels?
We don't have the capacity to assign by grade levels unless you want to increase our staffing for instructional coaches.
But you should
Well, we have,
that
if we have one in each building and we do grades
Yeah.
1, 2, grades 3, 4, grades 5,
Yeah,
6.
I'm not in favor of that model. I'm familiar with that model, I'm not in favor.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on it later. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Because we don't even know how many kids all of them got.
No.
They do.
No, we don't.
I'm sorry. Trustee Taylor?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
could,
trustee Taylor.
Can I just get an understanding of number 25? Is that an additional duty, or is that?
Dr. Anderson, come and explain.
Oh, yeah.
At number 25.
I don't have a copy of the agenda, so I'm gonna go based upon what you all are talking about, Nurse Bobo's stipend, right? So every year, School City of East Chicago does not have a nurse coordinator or a director of nursing. This is the first time I've ever heard of it coming to a district and there's no nursing coordinator or a director of nursing, but that's a whole different subject. So it's my understanding that Nurse Bobo gets this $5,000 stipend to act as the nurse coordinator for the entire district. And what she does is she sets up all the training, she makes sure that we're compliant with students getting their screenings. She has professional development, she sets up the CPR training for staff. She goes above and beyond, even today. She was in the building today, passed her contract, getting things ready. So that's what the $5,000 stipend is for, and it's to my understanding that this stipend has been given to her ever since COVID, when there was no nurse coordinator of nurses. She does. That's what she's in for now. She's doing interviews right now. And the great thing about the interviews that she's doing right now, these are legitimate RN nurses. I'm not going to say legitimate because all nurses are legitimate, but they have bachelor's, right? They have the bachelor's degree.
Okay, thank you.
How many nurses do we have?
One per building, and Central has 2.
So how many nurses is at Washington? I think they don't have a nurse there now, do they?
They have 1, or no, that's the one that's being shared, right? Because that's
So
the
you-
one that's being shared, because we lost her, that's
So
right.
you have, how many nurses you say?
So it's supposed to be 1 per building,
But it's
but we
not.
lost the one from Washington.
Right.
So,
Uh-huh. So like Mrs. Mercedes, so she does this every year. So she had to train these same nurses every year?
she trains the
The same,
nurses,
the same
staff.
nurses, the same nurses every year. She had to train them every year?
She has to keep them updated on the latest developments in healthcare.
Like their
Okay.
CEEs or
Yeah.
something, right? Continuing education?
And she also is our liaison with the city, with East Chicago, Healthy East Chicago.
No, I was just asking a question. Wouldn't the health department do that?
I would like to think of something.
On a full-time basis?
They just have a new administrator at the East Chicago Health Department. They just opened up a pharmacy. I'm just saying, there's some things that was brought to my attention that we had that particular, some equipment, but I have not seen it or nobody has given an in-service on, remember I talked to you about that? About certain equipment, and if there was a crisis with, the gummy bears and all of that. That needs to be brought to the attention of the community to let the parents know that there is a crisis intervention for that. And the East Chicago Health Department and Lake County wanted to know, had we presented this program?
So that would be the Too Good for Drugs program. Mr. Franklin will also talk to you about other programs that we're bringing into the district. We also have, if you all remember, Fairhaven. Fairhaven also talks about not only sexual child abuse and all of those things, but how children can be lured by different drugs. Once again, we got Gymnast Too Good for Drugs program. So these are the ways that we, I guess, inform and educate our students about the gummy bear crisis and things of that nature. And remember, we also have Infinity, who comes in and they do that third tier intervention with some of our students.
Okay, so with that,
But that's not,
maybe I'm missing something
yeah,
still.
because that's not the nurse, that's more social
With your parent
workers.
university, shouldn't a parent in the community be aware of these particular?
Yes, ma'am. I totally agree. There should be a workshop at Perrin University on that.
That's
Yes,
all I
ma'am.
wanted to know.
Yes,
So when you have
ma'am.
your parent university, those are the things that should be communicated to the community,
Absolutely,
along with math.
absolutely.
Okay, I'm done.
I just got one question to ask too. Then I will be finished.
Sorry, I took you off.
Oh, that's okay. No, this is not for you. This is for HR.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to know the reinstatement. So when did this individual leave?
Wait a minute, don't go too far, Leslie. That's the
Oh.
employee who resigned and decided not to move out of town and asked could they be reinstated.
So when did that happen?
It was almost instantaneously, like soon as he resigned, I guess the plans that him and his family had
Was there a
fell through.
personnel report? Did we approve the? Okay, so that's what I'm asking you.
Yes,
When-
ma'am.
When was
We
it?
approved his resignation on the last, I believe, that was it the
I
last?
think it was
Last board meeting, we approved it? Okay,
May
we'll look.
29th?
Yeah, we'll find it.
I think
Okay,
it was on the 29th.
Of what?
of May.
Oh, May 29th? Okay.
Yes, that's him, that's him.
Okay. Yes, so it was approved, the resignation was approved on the 29th. And so, since that time, he submitted and asked to rescind the resignation.
Yeah, 'cause
So
we
when
have-
he put in, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go on, go ahead.
So when he put in his email to rescind the letter of resignation, it had already posted to the agenda. Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, it wouldn't have gone on the agenda, but it had already been posted.
Okay. That's all I have, Dr. Bonet.
Okay. If there are no other questions from the personnel report, we will continue with the other agenda items. Item 6.02, the student handbook. Dr. Yanders will come to answer any questions or highlight the changes in the student handbook.
Oh, boy.
Madam President,
Yes, trustee Rodriguez.
And it's funny because I was talking with Trustee Smith on this, but what's the font on this thing? I mean, it looks really small.
Horrible.
Yes, it's terrible.
It
And
is
see, we got- and-
horrible.
Well, let me explain. If we have to, if we have to ask questions in our meeting, we could do that then because, you know, we all blind sitting up here.
I have a couple I would like to ask, or.
Well, you can ask, you got some good vision up there. Julie.
Well, no, I just
You
zoomed
give
it
your
into
last time.
200.
Can I just make one statement about the student handbook? So the way that we got it,
Yeah, I said it too.
the way that we got it, from print was like this, and the margins are all wonky, as you all can see. But that person was inundated with a lot of, end of the year activities. But we wanted to put this in front of you, so when we make those changes, like whatever changes you all, your input, that you wanted to add, like everything could be done at the same time. But we just wanted to make sure that you all are aware of some of the changes that we had put into the student handbook with the yellow highlighted parts. Those are the parts that have changed. As you all see at the beginning, the vision statement will change after the strategic plan is approved. There's some strikeouts, updates, especially like things like fake pens and all of those things. So just wanted to make sure that you all are part of the process and keeping you in the loop. And when that person, some of those things, he's freed up from some of these activities, we can have a better version of this. But this is called a rough draft.
That's rough.
And I tried to change the font. I did, but it wouldn't change for us.
Madam President, can we remove this from the agenda for Tuesday?
Pardon?
Can we remove this from the agenda? We're not going to do anything with it. It's a draft.
Yeah, okay, we could do that.
Can
So
I
you
share my
all want the-
questions or
Go
my
ahead,
concerns?
Go ahead, Trustee Taylor, go ahead.
Okay, so, I noticed there was comment boxes, and I see the proper school year on the title page, but the subsequent page, the letter, may want to update the dates on there in the year. Also, you may want to update the footer to reflect the current board members. We still have the previous board
These
member
are
on
the
there.
things, right?
Okay.
The comments, that's what we need, the input.
And then page 15, I know we currently have the student dress code under,
Oh, we got it on here?
under review right now,
Oh,
so
yes.
that may,
Oh, that's, okay,
in the policy committee.
okay.
And then just page 46, with the CEL, I don't know if we could include some language that they will also be engaged or be a part of Parent University. I know it has other examples of other programs that they're involved, so we could just add the Parent University to that as well. That's all I had, thank you.
Thank you.
Page 46, Taylor?
Yes, page
Appreciate it.
46. Then the student dress code is on page 15.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Any input
Yeah.
you all can give as well.
University's not in there, but she said add some of this stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I can't read it, so I can't say.
So if you use your computer and you guys
That's
got
exactly
printed.
what I
did. Yes. I was like,
We will
increase
make
the.
sure that the board has the version that is a little bit bigger in size font, but what we will do is we will publish it and still say
Yeah.
draft. And then you'll have an 8.5 by 11, but we can remove it from the agenda.
Yeah, okay.
So who are the commentators in the handbook?
Legal.
Legal.
Oh, what does NS stand for? Am I missing it? There you go.
Or do like Dr. Boyer told me to get a magnifying glass.
Thank you, Dr. Yanders.
I also want to take this opportunity too to thank the committee who worked on that student handbook, because in reality, we weren't due to finish this until the end of June. You all would have gotten it like in August. So I want my hats off to the entire committee, everyone that worked on the student handbook, and as well as legal, NS, Nick Snow. I said his name because he helped. Okay.
So what are we gonna do with this now?
We're gonna
We gonna
take
try
it
to
off this
public it,
agenda.
yeah.
Off and then,
It'll
Yeah,
come on.
and then it's gonna come on the next agenda.
and then we're
Okay.
gonna, by that time, we'll be able to critique it and add
Yes,
some more.
Well,
Yeah,
after the person, I don't know if I could say his name, let's give him a couple of days to rest after graduation. Jeremy? Oh, he's on vacation. Let's give him a couple of days, and then we can get a cleaner version for you all. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
The item 6.03 is approval of the 20.
So, wait, let me get this right. So this is not gonna be on our June the 10th meeting?
No, we'll take it.
It'll be after, okay, next
We
board.
scratch
The
that
June
off,
24th.
right?
Okay, next June 24th.
Scratch that off.
Item 6.03 is the approval of the 2025-2030 strategic plan. We will have Dr. Hutchings and Revolutionary Area Ed here to present on Tuesday at the board meeting as a presentation for that evening. However, the board has been shared this strategic plan as well as other, the last reports from Dr. Hutchings for your feedback.
Oh, he here?
No, on the 10th.
I'm gonna say, you say, oh, okay. Reason why I said that is because, okay, now, we don't have the plan.
Say it again?
We do not have the plan to approve it.
Yes, you do. You have the plan right there.
Yeah, okay. Okay, you got it in the book, but this is not what I'm trying to ask. So he's gonna come here after we approve this.
No, he's gonna come the day of the board meeting and present the strategic plan. But you
Okay.
have the full plan already.
Okay, so he's coming, when is he coming, Dr. Bonet?
On Tuesday,
He's
June
coming on
10th.
the 10th. Okay. So, are we finished with the plan?
Yes, it's done.
It's done? Okay, that's what I
Unless you have
wanted.
additional feedback.
No, that is what I wanted to know,
Yes.
what the plan is finished.
It's finished.
Okay, so he'll be here June the 10th. 25. Okay, oh, okay. All right.
Any other
I
feedback from the
thought
board?
that he was
before we-
gonna meet with us again. He only met with us?
No, he wasn't gonna meet with you.
He
So I
was not
think,
gonna meet with us?
because remember, the board is on the strategic planning committee.
Yeah, I know, I got the two people that I picked, but I thought that he was gonna come back in front of the board. Well, go ahead, that's sir.
If so, on the 10th, he comes back in front of the board.
Okay.
Find out what we need to find out.
Item 6.04 is approval of memorandum of understanding with Starbase. Starbase is a field trip that we have a lot of our elementary students go on if there aren't any major questions. Dr. Yanders can address them.
You said on Starbase? Yeah.
That's on McKinley.
Mm-hmm.
Well, McKinley turned in their field trip. Other schools also go to Starbase.
You say other schools go?
So the Starbase is a STEAM academy located at the Gary's Armory. Am I saying that right? Armory? Located at Gary Armory. And the High Abilities Grant is used to pay for students so they can go to the STEAM camp at the Starbase Academy in Gary.
Other questions?
No, I think Attorney Harris explained, because I'm always thinking about liability, but the letter says that they're not gonna hold us.
That they will hold us harmless. Mhm.
Not harmless.
Yes.
With regard to the liability, as long as the letter says that.
Yes.
You good?
That's it.
Okay.
Item 6.04 is the approval of principal leadership coaching agreements. Questions from the board?
Go ahead, trustee Smith.
So, Madam President and Dr. Bonet,
Yes.
so, okay, we have this, principal leadership coach. We have, how many? We have 5 contracts.
6 contracts.
6, okay. Okay, 6 contracts. And each one of these coaches would be placed in a school.
You said based or assigned?
I'm sorry.
What was your
Okay.
You said
We
Vegas.
have, okay, we have 6 leadership coaches, right?
Yes.
So will each coach, will there be a coach in every school?
There will be a principal leadership coach that supports each principal.
Okay.
Currently, we have 6 principals. Our 7th principal, Lincoln, has a vacancy, so there's no coach assigned.
Okay. So now, one more thing. This is paid with the grant, right?
That is correct.
You did change the correct amount, right?
Correct.
I just want to know who we're gonna pay for it. It's paid with a grant.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was, he changed the amount of it, what it was supposed to be. But these people, these coaches, they're gonna be on Zoom and in person, I think, me and you
Yes.
talked about that.
Yeah, there are a total of 10 sessions. 4 of them are in person, and the other 6 are virtual.
So how many we got, 6?
6.
Six.
Okay. You said 10 what now? 10 virtuals?
There's a total of 10 sessions, 2 a month. 4 of them are in person, and the other 6 are virtual.
Okay.
And they will be reporting to you.
That is correct.
Oh, we can have them come in here, maybe.
Say it again.
I say we can have them to come in here. I mean, I know they're gonna report to you, see where everybody's at.
Yes, so you'll get a report via the superintendent.
Okay. As long as we get something, and then we make a note of that.
Other questions regarding item 6.04?
We do have questions. How are these individuals selected?
Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
So there were a number of principal coaches or consultants that were recommended, and some that were personally invited by the superintendent. And then there was a principal matching meeting where the principals met each of the coaches, and then the principals selected their coach.
So I'm assuming these principals were, well, I'd like to have resumes of all these individuals. And I'm trying to understand, did we only have one high school. Did we have 5 principals who were experienced at the high school, middle school level?
That is correct. There was a experience pool where they ranged from high school experience as well as elementary, so that the needs were met.
So with these leadership coaches, we do expect some achievement.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yes.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
with that being said, I would like to ask that perhaps in an exec session, we have further discussion about this, so that we can see what gaps these individuals will be responsible to take over. Superintendent just said he's going to give us a report. It sounds to me like he's telling you he's not going to allow them to come in front of us. So in advance of their first day on the job, I really would like to see where the areas of improvement are for each of these principals that are going to be receiving one of these contractors. Secondarily, the item letter C, I don't know what page this is, first couple pages. Under 5C, it talks about reimbursement for travel.
They pay for they're responsible, from my understanding, they're responsible for everything. Am I correct? Did I read that contract right?
There is a provision in the agreement for reimbursable travel for up to $3,000 if they are out more than 75 miles.
Where is they?
Say it again.
Are they more than 75 miles?
3 of the
You
coaches
say
are.
you chose these people, right?
principals
I
also
mean, these
selected their
leaderships, I'm
schools.
sorry. Okay, so you say 3 of them. But was this included in that one price that we came up with, that, this,
Yes.
oh, this was in that too? Okay.
I will say this, that I recall that, Madam President, you may remember this, that when we broke out the organizational, when we redid the organizational chart, one of the discussion points was that we were going to redo the organizational chart so that Dr. Bornay could spend more time with principals. This seems to be outsourcing that task to 6 other individuals. Do you recall that conversation, Madam President?
I gotta look at my notes, you know I got the notes.
This
That's
does
what
not
the
reduce the amount of
first-
time that I currently spend with
Go
principals.
ahead, okay.
I'll still be meeting with principals on a regular basis.
I'm just gonna say, I feel that it's a grant. I'm not saying everything free is good, but if they could get any kind of help to bring up these scores and they are evaluated and their principals are not moving in the expectations that they should, then I'm not saying that's not a bad thing, but you can't do it all, and somebody else has to come in. And sometimes when you bring people on the outside, see, when you're inside, you don't see a lot of things, but a person on the outside sees a whole lot. So I'm not, and it's a grant, and I'm just saying, I think it's a pretty, I read it, and I think it's a pretty good start to hold the principals accountable for not doing what they're supposed to do. And once you give your report, or even if we ask them to come back to give us a report, they can basically tell us what their shortcomings are. I understand what you're saying. You need to know what their shortcomings are. Each school, each principal, everybody has some shortcomings. So whatever that focus, that shortcoming is, that coach should be focusing in on if that school is failing in math. Am I correct? Or whatever. So they should work harder in trying to upgrade or to bring those numbers up, to teach those children math and reading. So
No,
I
I
don't
agree.
think it should
It's,
be tabled. I think it should be helpful.
I agree. It's professional development. So the way I look at it, it's not a cookie cutter approach. It's going to be, every school's going to have their own tailored professional development, professional coach assisting, like you said, to bridge those gaps. If we want our principals to succeed, we got to give them the tools, and we got to give them, with the resources, professional development, coaching, whatever it takes to get our schools to that next level. So I like that it's going to have a tailored approach. It's going to have a focused approach. This coach is specifically for Central. This coach is specifically for Block, because the issues at Block are not the same issues at Central. The issues at Washington are not the same issues at Lincoln. So I appreciate this specific, direct, focused approach. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Taylor.
And there's, just the follow-up to that. The discussion was held in exec session when Dr. Bornay first talked about the reorganizing his administration. So the conversation I remember most distinctly was that the reorganization was going to help him help principals.
Madam President,
Yes, trustee Rodriguez.
if I could just add, I think I kind of hear what Trustee Gomez is saying, and I'm also hearing the scope of these particular contracts. And I think it's not that the superintendent is helping each in principal, which he is. He's doing everything he can. This is just the added to go with what he stated he was going to do, which is basically get coaches to help these principals. I don't see anything wrong with this because everyone needs professional development, including us as board members. So I think this is really an opportunity not only for the principals to actually work one-on-one with coaches that are experienced.
Madam President, I don't see anything wrong with it either in terms of additional support. I'm just stating what was told to us. Had we been told then that, I've got a plan that I'm going to work with the principals during year one, and then, in year two, I'd like to consider outsourcing part of this to supplement the work that I'm doing with them, I think I'd feel much better about it. I'm not arguing that point. I'm just repeating what was stated to us in our reorganization meeting.
This was at the retreat.
Yes.
Yes.
I wasn't present.
No.
If there aren't any other
Dr.
questions,
Bonet? Any
we're on to
thoughts?
6.04. So it's both and.
Any thoughts of what,
So in response to Trustee Gomez, year one allowed me to closely supervise the principals and evaluate them, which one of my recommendations, as a result of that, is providing them additional support through the principal leadership coaches. It is still both and. When I met with the principals, they actually responded that they enjoyed me being their supervisor, for lack of a better phrase, and appreciated the fact that I was in the buildings with them, in classrooms, and supporting them. So that doesn't go away. So only thing that's different is next year, whereas this year I did both of their evaluations. There is now, because I've worked closely with them, they can have one of their other evaluations be by either Ms. Gutierrez or Dr. Yanders. I still do their main one, but there's this additional level of support.
And the outcome of this, I don't recall, I didn't go through this entire packet, but they're going to have a mid-year evaluation, correct?
For whom?
Principals,
Yes, they have two evaluations.
right, okay.
when the last one, do you remember the last time? Or have you evaluated anybody yet?
I evaluated
Yeah,
all the
you have.
principals.
You did. Okay, you did do that.
And so is this expected to go past December 2025?
No.
Okay. What is the plan then there? It sounds to me like we're going to get to a point where somebody's going to make it or not make it in December. We're just not going to have any support for them January through, they still have?
No, the program is designed to provide intensive support the first semester of the year. So now they've had the capacity built, and then for the second half of the year, they're able to lead based on the coaching they received from first semester.
Right, so we only gonna, so I don't see no dates in here. when do all of this start? You said it's already started, right?
No, it's not.
So when does this start?
When the principals come back in July.
Oh, so this gonna start in, okay, so we need to have that in here?
Mhm.
I'd like to have it in there, because it does not say that in here.
Yeah.
July 1st, is that it? Oh, is that when it's coming, July the 1st?
Well, they come back July 28th.
Okay, July the 28th, it should read, right?
Correct. Mhm.
Till when?
To December 31st.
December 31st.
So Madam President, if I could ask, maybe we do some progress updates.
Yeah, that's what I was asking
okay.
Dr. Bonet to give us. We don't, we want to get it, so this is going to be, how many months, 6
I
months?
believe the principals are paid, or the principal leadership coaches are paid in 3 installments. I will
Yeah,
provide the
thank you.
board
Yeah.
an update every
On
installment, every third.
That's good, that's good, Dr. Bonet. Every installment. Give us some data.
Thank you.
Okay, so, but we're gonna,
So we will revise those contracts before tomorrow, and then we post them with the actual dates for each one.
yeah, okay.
Okay. And if there are no questions for item 6.04,
I just wanna ask a question. Mr. Harris, you did these contracts?
Which ones are we talking about? In 6.04 or which
Yes.
items? Yes.
You did those?
Yes, my office did all the contracts themselves, yes.
Okay.
Other questions? We're going to have for our next item, item 6.05, Mr. Franklin, our Director of Social Emotional Learning, come to discuss and give a high-level overview of the MOU for My Brother's Keeper.
Good morning, I have that as 6.06.
Oh, you know what? You're correct.
We don't even
I've-
have that, so that's what I was gonna say.
I've already deleted so my numbers shift.
So we need to have, we
Wait,
don't
so
have
what?
anything.
I'm lost.
Yes, you do.
Oh,
It's
okay.
6.06.
Yeah, so do we have a,
You have that?
I
Okay.
have it here.
There is
Yeah, it's on board docs.
yeah, that's an agreement. It's in your, should be in your
let me
packet.
see if it's in my packet, because I've been,
606 on board docs is the MOU of Brothers Keeper.
Correct,
right, that's what it is.
correct.
But I'm trying to find it and see where it's in my package, because I was looking for it.
It should be right after the principal leadership coaching.
It ain't, I got Tammy Pole's stuff. I don't have that. See, this is Tammy Pole's stuff right there. This is her stuff. No, because see, this is the contracts, right here. These are the contracts.
Let's sort that out. But Mr. Franklin.
Oh, here it is. I'm sorry.
So, My Brother's Keeper is something I'm super excited about. This is a program, more so an alliance, that was launched by President Obama in 2014 in response to the death of Trayvon Martin in Chicago, Illinois. The program is intentionally increased to increase mentoring supports for our boys. It supports the persistent opportunity gaps that are faced by many Black and brown communities. So why is this extremely important? So when you think about the persistent social inequities in our communities that are deeply rooted in structural and institutional racism that has historically prevented our boys and young men of color from reaching their full potential, this is a program that works to address those things. When we think about some of the recent executive orders that have been designed in a way to eliminate school systems to be able to address trauma, it creates a state of emergency within our public schools. These executive orders also are putting mandates in place for school systems that are putting under the umbrella of diversity and inclusion, building this understanding or this perspective that our students are not at risk. There's no such thing as racism. Trauma doesn't exist. And if you think about an executive order that makes these things quote unquote illegal, it really puts us in a tough spot as it relates to social and emotional learning and some of the very supports and interventions that allowed many of us in this room to be successful. Essentially, if it's illegal to provide these services within the school, we have to think outside the box of who we can partner with so that we can make sure our students get what they need. If you think about the fact that there's this idea that it's not okay to address trauma within the school system, and I think everyone in the room could agree that trauma is one of the biggest barriers that make it difficult for our students to learn. Exposure to violence, growing up in households with single parents or parents that are incarcerated and addicted to drugs and alcohol, there's this expectation that our students can just come to school and learn, and that's ridiculous. So this is one of the organizations that we'll be able to partner with so that we can still address some of these things that are being considered under this umbrella of diversity and inclusion. And I want to put something in perspective. If it's illegal for us in the school system to address trauma, and there's so much research out there that says many of our students within our community can't learn if trauma is not addressed and there's not opportunities for healing, then essentially that means for some of our kids it's illegal to learn. And they say history repeats. It was just in 1834, it was illegal for Black people to learn how to read and write. So to think that there are executive orders being put in place to repeat history is a daunting idea, and it's a scary thought. That's why I'm excited about programs like My Brother's Keeper, because they work to address those things as an initiative outside of our school buildings. So a little history, quick facts about MBK. In 2018, 19 organizations across 10 states and Puerto Rico were chosen as national models. There are currently over 250 communities across the country that have chapter alliances. One of our closest chapters is the Chicago chapter that has established over 75 community partners to work with the Chicago Public School students. And these organizations are non-for-profit organizations or private organizations that are working with students to provide mentorship as well as provide healing opportunities for trauma. So My Brother's Keeper Lake County, it was championed by Lake County Prosecutor Bernard Carter. Edgewater is the backbone and the fiscal agent. The first board meeting took place on April 9th, 2024. Indiana University Northwestern serves as the data analysis. The meeting location is Purdue Extension Campus in Crown Point. And there's already conversations about implementing My Sister's Keeper as an initiative in school year 2026. So the progress that we've made this year, the School City of East Chicago, I've been able to attend the monthly meetings since March of 2025. Thank you to the superintendent's vision as well as Dr. Yanders. We've appointed 12 My Brother's Keeper ambassadors from East Chicago High School to represent our school district. We attended an MBK field trip with our ambassadors on May 13th and were able to participate in the roundtable and panel discussion. And Edgewater Health has submitted an MOU to officially start the School City of East Chicago chapter in school year 2026. And I'll take any questions.
Where are they located at? Where are they located?
Where's your
Where are they
office
located?
Where are they located?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the headquarters, where the meeting location is at Purdue Extension Campus.
Okay.
So you said how many ambassadors we have?
We have 12 ambassadors.
And our ambassadors are kids or adults?
Ambassadors are kids.
Okay.
So when we took the field trip on the 13th, our students came to represent our school district as ambassadors. They participated in a roundtable discussion with other stakeholders within the community. And these are the students that will be the start of our chapter.
And how were the students selected?
Students were selected by the administration at East Chicago High School. They selected these students because of their natural leadership. They selected these students because some of these students have already served as mentors to younger students within the school district. So they were selected by the administration at the high school.
May I ask the racial makeup? I hope that's not too, I hope it's appropriate to ask. Is it appropriate to ask about,
Participation or the?
of the ambassadors?
They represent the racial makeup of our school district.
Okay.
So now, let me ask you, Ms. Dr. Winter, were these the ambassadors that came in front of us?
No.
With Pete, them, that was not them
that's not the
kids?
same group.
Oh, okay, because I was getting ready to say,
Which one?
you know, they came, some kids did come in front of us. They would say they ain't been in front, okay, because I was getting ready to say, okay. Go
Does
ahead.
this program also address any type of immigration issues?
Absolutely. So when you think about it as an alliance, the alliance is bringing in any organization that can help with the issues of our young men, right? So it can be anything. When we went to the Chicago conference, they had 75 different organizations who are part of the alliance.
Okay.
What that means is that now a Chicago public school who has a chapter, they have access to 75 community partners when they have any type of issue. But one of the big initiatives is to provide mentoring opportunities for the young men. So the alliance can look like whatever Lake County builds it out to be. It's only 1 year old, so now it's kind of in the infant stage to where we're in the process of building the alliance to make sure that we have as many non-for-profits as well as private organizations to be a part of the alliance to provide support for our students.
Okay. Because I know we had, earlier this year when we were in Washington, was it? We had a situation where there was I guess there was an initiative where a lot of kids of Hispanic descent didn't show up to school because of fear of ICE coming in or whatnot. So just wondering if this organization had any type of resources to support those type of children. And that's why I was asking what the racial makeup of the ambassadors are, because, I mean, they need each other.
Absolutely.
They need each other. They're facing the same issues, just different weapons
Yeah.
being used against them, so,
Absolutely. So the initiative is specifically focused on black and brown boys.
okay.
And it goes from 14 to 24, which is why we made sure we appointed some seniors, because as they transition, we want to put them in a perspective that they'll come back and serve as mentors within the community. So we made sure we added seniors to the project. But to your question, this is, when I say we're in a state of emergency, this is giving us an opportunity to do things that they no longer allow us to do within public schools, right?
Yeah.
We all know what our students need. So when there are mandates and different things put in place to make it difficult for us to give our children what they need, what do? Right?
Right.
We have to think outside the box. So that's why this alliance is such a beautiful thing, because it can allow for enrichment to take place over the summer. It can allow for community partners to have access to our children to create opportunities to heal and trauma. There's some really scary things coming down the pipeline for our children, and we have to be quick and be able to pivot and really put things in place, because next year is going to look a lot different within our school systems when it comes to providing support and services for our children. So this alliance is going to allow us to take advantage of some opportunities and community partners that are already strategically in place to help us out. So this is why it's really great that we were able to be a part of this year and kind of have a seat at the table, because it's going to be,
Yeah.
next year, we're going to need it more than we've ever needed it.
So is this our first time?
Yeah.
It's brand new? Okay. Because I've heard of it before, and I don't know why I thought it was already in our school district.
So the sale camp in the summer is a part of this alliance now, and some of our students will be able to take advantage of that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Madam President, first of all, I just want to say,
Smith.
My Brother's Keeper's been around for, I want to say about 30 years. I mean, you know, that name, My Brother's Keeper. And I'm really happy to see that you all have taken that to another level. And I know how hard it was to begin this particular organization, and it started in Gary years ago. So I'm really grateful that you all, that young leaders have stepped up and taken that particular organization to another level and partnered with the different organizations to help our black and brown children. So, because at one point it was just for, back in the day, it was just for homeless. And you could still touch that base because we still have a lot of homeless children and a lot of homeless parents. So I'm just really glad to see, and I see your committee, and I see the people that you're working with. And I know that there are true community advocates. So I'm just saying, My Brother's Keeper, from your presentation has come a long way. And I thank you, because now you've included our children as opposed to just a dislocated worker or someone who has had a problem. And working with Edgewater, the prosecutors, and all the different other entities in our community, I commend you for that. So, yeah, it's been around a long time. You might have not even been born back then, but it's been around a long time.
Madam President,
Yes, trustee Gomez.
following trustee Taylor's comments, is any of this going to be, as we're starting this up, is any of this going to be done in Spanish for those that are not native English speakers?
When you say any of this, what do you mean, any of
Whatever
this?
it is that you're doing,
So,
a meeting, a conversation, I can read what it says here and want to question you on that in a minute, but any activities that are going on, is a Spanish speaker going to be able to engage with this group?
Absolutely, that goes without saying. This is a national organization, so this is not something that I'm doing. This is a national organization that focuses on Black and brown communities, so that's absolutely a part of what would happen. At the other school districts that are part of the alliance thus far, Hammond School District, same makeup of our students, Black and brown boys, so they make sure that they accommodate all the students that are part of it, absolutely.
Yeah, Trustee Smith, actually, kind of leading to the next point is that we'd want to make sure that we identify that, in a language that Hispanic or Spanish-speaking kids are able to understand that this is an option available to them. So I'd hope to see any promotions for engaging with this group to be done in English and Spanish.
Absolutely.
I want to ask a question you on 2A. It lists here 6 milestones. You said that there was 12 ambassadors that were all selected by the high school, yet the 6 milestones talk about entering school ready to learn, reading at grade level by 3rd grade. So just with those 2 items, the first 2 of the 6 milestones, how is this group going to help the kids who are entering school to be ready to learn? And how is it going to help kids to be able to read at grade level by 3rd grade?
It's not the student's responsibility for the milestones. The milestones, when the alliance is formed, they designate individuals throughout the partnership to serve over those milestones. So there's representatives for each milestone that's a part of My Brother's Keeper, Lake County. So that's not the student's responsibility.
I understand that. I'm asking, how does this work? I can read what it says, but how does it work in actuality? What does it take to get to complete the milestone or work towards the milestone of a child entering school ready to learn? What does it take for the milestone to be ready to go for a child to be reading at grade level by 3rd grade? How does this organization support that is my question.
So I'm not going to entertain that question. Sometimes we have people that are interrupters of processes that our children need. And to ask questions that would make this program seem as if this is not good for our children.
I didn't say that. I want to be very clear. I did not say that. I asked you a very direct question. How does this work?
How does this work? Well, it starts by us developing a chapter and agreeing that our children need outside support services to address trauma and mentoring. Since I've been here for only 6 months, I've been to visit a student in the juvenile detention center. I've met with the parents of a student who was murdered. I've met with parents of students who has done things that are atrocious and they need support. So when we think about how does this work, the first part is us committing to the work, allowing our students to be a part of this process, looking at the data from the 250 other chapters that are around the country. And if you want to explore the model of how it works, then you would have to explore the model of how it works. But I just want to make sure that I'm clear. When we question things that we know our students need, we have to question ourselves, who's really the problem?
Madam President,
Yes, Trustee Gomez.
can I have him removed
I
and talk
think
to
what,
Dr.
I think,
Anderson?
yeah, I think I understand your question.
Thank you very much,
Trustee,
Dr.
Gomez.
Yanders.
So he's saying like, because of the organization, like, what can they do to address those 2 milestones?
That's a simple
All right.
question. Thank you
So-
very much.
Part of My Brother's Keeper, when he talked about you said 70, right now, the chapters that they have over in Chicago, right? They have 70-something or different, 75 different community partners. So some of those partners, I'm gonna give you an example. communities in schools. I'm using them because we already know that
Great,
communities
that's what
in
I'm going
schools
for.
work with us. So communities in schools will be one of those extensions of My Brother's Keeper. And we already know communities in schools, they do our after-school tutoring. So therefore, they address those two milestones. I think that's what you were talking about?
I wanted to know how it worked. Thank you very
Okay.
much for the explanation.
Yes.
I don't appreciate the attack on the question. Somebody is asking a question because they want to know an answer. I'm asked to be voting on this. This is the first time I'm seeing it, and I'm asking what I think is an intelligent question. And I think it's inappropriate for somebody to come up here and attack my questioning.
So I think that's how it works. Did
Dr.
I
Bonet, I hope you
answer that one,
addressed this.
Trustee Gomez? Did
Thank
I-
you, Dr. Andrews, and
did I
Dr.
answer
Bonet. I
that
hope
one?
you addressed this issue.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead, I'm
I
sorry.
just have one final.
Go ahead,
thing.
finish the question.
So this is for Attorney Harris. In this document,
Page
there's,
you on, Jesse.
you could pretty much go to any
What
page
page?
here. And this one I'm at right now is on
Okay.
page 4 of 8. And I guess my question is, Attorney Harris, it talks about throughout this document, the ability or the availability of this organization to be taking photos and videos using our students' likeness, et cetera. Is that appropriate?
It can be. So we're not talking about, my understanding at least of how the program would work is we're not talking about within the school, we're talking about programming outside the school. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for that reason, it's a different story. It's a problem because that student information is private and it's protected in the school setting. When they agree to participate in this program and be mentored, I'm assuming there's going to be some participation paperwork that they would have to fill out.
Absolutely.
And that would
With a
be
photo
the,
release from, and permission
Yes.
slip, that would come with the permission
Thank you.
slip and the photo
they'd
release
be
from
part
the
of the
parent.
parental consent.
Yep,
When the
gotta
parent
have
signs
that.
off for them to sign up, yeah.
Gotta have
So
that.
long as there's that parental sign up, I appreciate that. Dr.
Gotta
Bonet.
have that.
I just want to say this, some of the people that's on this board, I know them. I do know them. Dr. Of Edgewater, I can't say Demelia Johnson Woods now, but you know who I'm talking about. She's a doctor. She created Edgewater. And she has gone to all of our national school board conferences. So she's very much aware of the needs of black and brown children. So not only does she work with the adults, but she's also working with the black and brown children in the urban communities, in the inner city communities. She's gone to I've seen her at every Q and at every NSBA. So she's taking the Brothers Keep Edgewater to another level. Not only is she meeting the social and emotional issues that they're having with not only just their families, but with the children, because if the families having social emotional issues, then the children are having some issues. And then I'm looking also here at Dr. Karen Bishop Morris. She's at the university, she's a professor, and she's at, I want to
She
say,
used to be at Purdue.
she's at where?
She used to be at Purdue.
No, she's in Chicago now, University,
Okay.
she's still at Purdue,
Oh, okay.
but she's also. In Chicago. Also in Chicago.
Okay.
They just had a big anniversary over there. I can't think of the University of Chicago, but anyway. So I'm just saying, they know how to work the community. They've been around this community. They grew up in this community. They know how diverse this community is. This is an upcoming program. And I get what Trustee Gomez is saying, and I just wish he wouldn't just be a little bit more kinder when he says things, but I understand him, that's his personality. And when he wants a question answered, he wants it answered. But with this program, this is something that we need in our community. I don't know if you're familiar with the 100 Black Males, the 100 Black Men. You're partnered with them in Indianapolis, aren't you?
Baby.
See, a little bit of stuff I do know, I just don't share it. 100 Black Males, we tried to get that particular organization here, but once you all partner with them, then that's a big mentorship. And they're very big. They are very, very strong and they're very, very big. So I'm just saying, even though this is your first time coming to East Chicago, I get what you understand. Just be a little more able to answer your questions and calm down and don't panic. But you have people behind you that I know that are educators, and then I know them personally, that their first priority are children. So the program can work, it just needs a little bit more tweaking in your presentation, but I don't have a problem with it.
Madam
I guess-
President,
Yes, trustee Rodriguez.
I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of trustee Smith. Dr. Danita Johnson has been around for a very long time. And trustee Smith is correct. She is the founder of Edgewater. They meet pretty much on a monthly basis, or maybe even a bi-monthly basis, or maybe even twice a month over at the Purdue Extension Center over in Crown Point. They have partnered with prosecutors, judges, some of the elected officials. They have all the resources they need. What's new to me in this particular program, and Dr. Danita Johnson did invited me to one of their meetings, which I had an opportunity to go. And one of the things I saw was the mentorship, the experience and education of all these individuals put in one room. And if any board members want to have a little bit more understanding as to what MBK is all about, they got to go to one of these meetings. I'm sure that Dr. Danita Johnson can shoot each one of you an email to say, hey, come on board, because that's what she did with me when I asked those questions. And I definitely support it. They don't ask for any kind of monies or anything like that. They're there just to mentor, to provide that behavior services for students that need it. And I think that's definitely something that we would need outside of school grounds.
No, we not told you to do that. That's it. Uh-huh. So I just want to ask, not to you all, but to either Rodriguez or Jesse or Diane.
Yes.
Now, I remember, didn't we have a group that came in here from Chicago and did a presentation to us, something such as what they're doing? What was that group came? It was called, Jesse, you remember? They came in here and they did a presentation in front of us, under Marlon Mitchell.
That was,
Or some kind of group such as what they're
the
speaking of.
Chicago State was for, for the, you talking about Chicago State, Call Me Mr. program?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Wasn't that something like this? I
But
thought so.
for black and brown
Yes,
males who want to become
that's right,
teachers.
That's right, that's it.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody named Mr.
Yep.
Somebody-
It was
yeah.
called Call Me Mr. from that
Yes,
Sidney
that's what
Poitier
it-
movie.
So now.
I just told my
do
age
you know
again.
if it's still in-
Sidney Poitier.
No, I asked you that, I said, do you know if it's still in place? Okay, okay.
Madam President, I think I remember that.
Yeah, I remember they came in here and did a big
Okay,
presentation.
but we have to remember, this organization is Indiana-based.
Yes.
And it's community-based, Gary, Hammond, East Chicago. And I thank you for even stepping to East Chicago, because you could have stayed just in Gary, or you could have just went on to Maryville, or you could have went somewhere else, because we all are facing these particular situations. The only thing that I am gonna say is, I have to agree with Trustee Gomez on one thing. You need to not only just do it in English, but you need, because we're so diverse in all three areas, especially in Region 1, Spanish is the next language. So if you can get someone to translate your information on one side, English, and on the other side, Spanish, it would draw more people, more children and more parents to, to your organization. That's one thing you need to do, because we are very, very diverse, and we're getting even bigger. So we have to kind of learn how to, work around some things. But basically, the organization, I do know, it's very needed in our community, the mentorship. They start out with it, but they never complete it. So if you're gonna start something, complete it. If you're passionate about it, do it.
And talk about your passion, why you so passionate.
So, first, let me apologize because I am very passionate about this work. Passionate because my father was killed when I was in 6th grade and I was expelled by 8th grade. It was because the lack of these type of support systems throughout the school district that I went from being a straight A student to being expelled. This work is personal to me. I don't take it lightly. I don't take it lightly. I've been here for 6 months and I see what these kids need. There's an expectation to raise test scores, but it's so much trauma. I'm gonna advocate for them, and I'm gonna fight for them. And I apologize if it comes off as disrespect, but God put me in places for a reason, and I don't play with it. These kids need this. They need it, and they're gonna need it next year more than ever.
Yes.
Anything that gets in the way of them getting this is problematic, in my opinion. That's all I'm saying. I do apologize because you're right. I'm an elected official myself. So I understand questions are a part of the process. But also the way you frame questions and word questions come across a certain way. My perspective is my perspective.
And I respect that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just one comment on this. Were we about to go on to the next thing? Okay, before we go on to the next thing, I don't view this as a diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative. It's a mentorship program. So what I'd ask is that you let me say that before you vote on it. Just trust me. Thank you.
Mentor, right?
It's a mentor group.
Right,
Thank you.
It's mentoring children.
right.
Thank you. If
Right.
there aren't any other questions for item 6.06, the next three items, 6.07, 6.08, and 6.09, Ms.
Tammy
Pohl
Pohl.
can answer any questions.
Yes.
Good evening. I do not have that agenda in front of me, so if you would tell me the first one, please.
The first one is contract renewal agreement for Next Gen 3D PC Services, LLC.
That is our asset tag. Is that the one, Mr. Rosato?
Mr. Rosato.
Okay, yes, okay. So Mr. Rosato is part of our corrective action. He is our person who keeps all of our equipment, tags everything. He actually has been here with us for a few years. He now has taken on additional responsibilities such as handling our website, updating the website, and he does a lot of our troubleshooting with our technology for our teachers. He has a very good handle on all of our equipment, and he's now helping to dispose a lot of that equipment that we have had around for years that we could not get rid of because it's in a federal grant. So you'll be seeing a lot of that coming as well as files and other things. So it's a renewal. Any questions?
Madam President,
Yes, trustee Rodriguez, go, man.
thank you. Ms. Pohl, it's my understanding, we've had somebody who's been in charge of assets for quite some time now. How is this, how did this happen here?
Okay, so, yeah, go ahead, and then I'll kind of add, yes.
So this was brought in because of State Board of Accounts. We had a finding that we had equipment that we could not find and it was not tagged. And at that point, it was in special ed and we wanted to bring someone in because that was part of our report to the state, saying that we needed someone to come in to help make sure that we know where all the equipment is at and make sure we knew where all everything was tagged at.
And just to add to that, it's part of the compliance agreement associated with that, too.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
I have no problem with that. My question is, essentially, we've been paying somebody to do this. How did we get non-compliant? For
I can answer
one,
that.
two, three,
Prior
four, at least 4
to,
years.
yeah, well, actually, it's been even longer, prior to that. So that's why we keep him in, so that he does have everything tagged, that everything is reported. Our audits have been very clean. But what happened was, years ago, they took all equipment and threw it all together, did not really determine which was special ed, what was title, anything. And so when they come in, they specifically give you a number, a serial number, and they ask, where is it? We want you to take us to see it and then document it. We have to know where every piece of our equipment is at, and they'll give us 5 pieces, for example. St. Stan's, because of proportionate share, they also purchase equipment. We have to go over there, we have to locate it. I mean, it has to be detailed as to where it is, and so we have done a really good job. We haven't had any findings for a very long time, but that's because of the fact that he does a great job with this. And we do purchase a lot of equipment because of our students, as far as technology goes, assistive technology. And so we've done a good job since.
We're paying up to $43,000 for this position. And it just escapes me how we can go all the way back to 2017, I believe, to, at least here, 2017, to have to correct past issues. So how do we guarantee that the job's going to be done this time?
Actually, what, the job has been corrected for the most part. What we're doing now is we're keeping it that way. It's more of a continuous compliance, making sure that we always have this equipment documented in this manner, and we know exactly where it is.
This
So,
is, I'm sorry, thank you.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it just actually for Attorney Harris. Page 2, right above indemnification, number 3. The last paragraph, the last couple sentences, contractor immediately advises SCEC in writing of its refusing to do so. And this follows the previous part of the, to do SCEC's Director of Special Education may make the request to contractor to perform a task. What does that mean?
So what it's saying is that the School City of East Chicago shall provide notice of any additional tasks outside of what's enumerated in page 1.
Okay.
And if for some reason they're refusing to, because they're unable, they don't have the support staff, whatever it is, they have to communicate that to the school corporation so that they can react accordingly. So that is a provision that deals with how do the parties handle a request for the performance of additional tasks.
Okay. Just on page 11, the date is incorrect on the approval. It says May 27th.
We can make sure that gets updated.
Thank you.
So was this originally intended for another board meeting? Is that why it says the 27th?
Yes,
Oh.
I think it was pulled for.
Oh, and it was pulled. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Madam President, Ms. Paul, I was a part of that audit, and it was a mess. So now, I understand that from that point on, you want to make sure that you had everything straightened out because nothing was tagged, everybody was running around with their heads cut off, and they couldn't find this, they couldn't find that. And then once you got this straightened out, got it together, organized it. So now that you have it organized, just hypothetically, I'm just saying, shouldn't your staff automatically know where to put, you shouldn't have to have a company to do this now? You should, your staff should be, because this has been like 5 years,
Yeah, now it's not a company, it's just one individual.
one individual.
Yes, and he's here daily, working to, pretty much update whatever is needed. So for example, he does all the updating of all of the computers. He does all the ordering, any kind of assistive tech. He goes in, he does the assessment. He does a lot of work as just keeping us compliant now.
Okay, because
Yeah, so it is, like you said, it is all recorded. We're now getting rid of a lot of stuff now that no longer computers from 2010, stuff like that. Old equipment that's at the St. Stan's, we cannot disregard, throw away anything until it is board approved, because it's federal funds. We have to locate everything. When they come in, they will go back a number of years and ask, where is this? What did you do with it? If it was stolen, where's the police report? We have to show everything. So those are the things that he does.
Well, I do remember that audit because it was this thick.
Yeah, yes.
Trustee Smith asked a great question, and just following up on that. So what happens moving forward?
What happens moving forward, just him continuing to keep us compliant, continuing to update all of the equipment, document what's there, and as we go, discard the information or the, I guess, files as well, but the old equipment tagging and also making sure that it's on a spreadsheet as to where, when, whatever. And just, continue, there's always, believe me, I'm telling you when I say this, there's always work for this young man. He's helping me update the website as we speak, making sure that the parents' rights and resources and all of that, we've been sitting for a while and updating the new website that will be coming out.
So this won't be the last time we see him. We'll probably see him every year.
More than likely,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
And I've been trying to get him to come on as an employee because I know George has been trying to steal him. He's very knowledgeable. He has a background of graphics and all of that, but he works, with us only and may come on next year full-time because he has children that he does a lot with.
Thank you.
With AI on the rise, it might be something to really entertain, yep.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I was going to ask, since we do have an IT person, right? We do have, how many people do we have?
They're
Working
very
on-
short. I'm not sure how many they have. He
That's
helps
when
them as well, believe it or not. Probably shouldn't say that, but he does a lot of helping. In fact, he did all of the updating for the computers for our department, and that's really not his job, but he does it. He takes on anything, and let me tell you, he is, if Dr. Bonet needs something, he'll go into his office, he'll help. He doesn't wait around. He helps in this building, and it's not his job. Yeah, he does a lot. David, yeah. Yeah. My fear is if he isn't here, what does happen? Who takes on that responsibility? It's a big responsibility. Don't want to be out of compliance. It was in the technology department before, and that's how it happened because of the short staff and not understanding the importance of federal funds and documentation.
Thank you, Ms. Paul.
You're welcome.
The next item is the contract renewal for our psychologist, Dr. Douglas Corona.
Yes, so he is the contractor we've had for a number of years. He signs off on any Medicaid billing. He also will assist with some emergencies. I was going to ask him as well to have a contract on hand in the case of an emergency for adults. We've seen that lately. And so you may see something like that coming, but mainly he's signing off. He doesn't even use half of the money that we put forth. We keep reducing it. But you have to have somebody with an MPI to sign off. And so he's been with our district for many, many years.
Questions regarding item 6.08? 6109 is approval of consultant contract renewal agreement for William H. Binder.
He also is, this is his last contract. He will not be coming around anymore. He is retiring. What he does is he ensures that our MOE, which is the maintenance of effort, just a really quick little lesson, the maintenance of effort, the district must spend exactly the same or $1 more on children with special needs to be in compliance. If you do not, you stand a chance of losing the federal funds, up to as much money. So for example, if you spend $1 million less on children with special needs, that's how much you're going to lose, and you have to pay that back. So we try to keep that at an even keel, and he actually wrote the formula for the MOE. And but this is his last time. He's going to come in, and so he's going to train us so that somebody here can also help out.
Thank you, Ms. Pohl. Is there any other questions regarding those 3 contract renewals? Okay. Item 6.10, approval of American Fidelity proposal. Dr. McJunkin is available to answer any additional questions. We did hear American Fidelity's proposal during last month's board work session.
Well, American Fidelity was here. If you recall, that is the organization that I told you that we've been working to get, because their services are free. They offer, there's a memo there for you. I think Ms. Gibson King might have her hand on it. Hold on.
Is it the one pager?
Yes. So they're going to fully manage our open enrollment process for us, take over administration of our Section 125 plan. The Section 125 plan is where it's an employer-sponsored benefit program that allows employees to pay for certain qualified medical expenses and other benefits with pre-tax dollars. So like the HSA, which is health savings, and FSA, it'll come back to me what it is, but where we can have money deducted from our paychecks on a biweekly basis, but it's pre-tax money, and it can be used, it's basically placed on a credit card, and you can use it towards any out-of-pocket medical expenses. So for instance, our co-pays, deductibles, things of that nature. It's really, and the FSA is flexible spending account. They both are kind of similar, but they work a little different. FSA is like a credit card that you've got credit on. So say you have a limit of $3,000. Well, you can, the first day you have it, you can use it up to that amount. Whereas the HSA, which is the health savings plan, that is, you gotta earn it. So it's like a debit card. The money's gotta be there on it already. So if you got a $1,000 bill and they've only taken $200 a pay period and you haven't reached that 100 in that, on that HSA, then you're gonna have to pay some money out of your pocket. You won't have enough on that card, okay? So they're gonna offer both to our employees. And all of this is free to our employees. We will have, what is the other stuff they offer? They help us with the, I said they help us with the open enrollment process. And they have a mobile app, as they stated. And it's user-friendly. It helps the employees to manage their own information. their own medical information. And again, as Dr. Bournet says, it's free 99. So, and they were,
Free,
yeah, it's free.
no cost to the school
No
district.
cost to the school district.
I just have a couple questions.
Yes.
So so as a school district, do we have the FSA and the HSA benefit, or is that or that is the benefit they are providing?
So, how can I say this? The paperwork, when I started, it said FSA and HSA. So I was familiar with the FSA. I wanted to get back into an FSA program. The district didn't have FSA. It was on the paperwork, but it didn't exist. We didn't, and so they only offered HSA in reality.
The school district offers HSA.
Yes, we currently have HSA, but we don't currently have FSA.
FSA.
So this gives people an option,
Okay.
okay?
So I'm just trying to understand if they are offering the benefit, or are they offering the service to assist the staff to enroll into those benefits that we're already offering? Because I know, like, for an HSA, yeah, that comes out from the employee's check. So I'm assuming Fidelity is Fidelity, right? They're not going to be the ones to go into our payroll system and set that up to ensure that that automatic payroll deduction's coming out. So that's one question. The second part is, does the school district also pay into the HSA?
No, the school district doesn't pay into the HSA. We pay out of our own pre-tax dollars.
Correct, no, because for me, like, for my corporation, my organization pays into my HSA, they match me.
No.
So, okay, just asking,
No,
because
not-
I was wondering, like, okay, who's gonna be taking, yeah, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, no,
My bad.
I'm gonna confirm, but I believe, we have a payroll supervisor. So she handles everything, but it's gonna make it to where she doesn't have to manually sit and have this deduction taken out for everybody. They do this whole process. They manage it. They're like I guess you would say like a portal.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to understand, they manage it, but the funds still gotta come out of our account as a school district, right? So, and that has to be set up internally. I'm assuming, like, internally, we set up what's gonna be deducted from an employee's check to go into this account. So how does that piece work?
So it'll be similar to Aflac, because we have Aflac now.
Okay,
So the employee will pay their portion, and my payroll supervisor would do the same thing. We'll get the registration from them. We know the exact amount to take out, and then we would get the billing, and then we would send them the money Karen does it every month. One-time payment every month to
Okay.
this company. So it'll be just like Aflac.
Okay.
So it is gonna be, my payroll will have hands in it. But
okay,
it's
that was my question. All
To
right,
deduct the money out of their account, paychecks.
okay.
To my understanding, Fidelity is more like an investment. It's not like an investment in stock, but it's an investment in yourself.
It's a management
Yeah,
system.
it is.
It manages the processes, and
Yeah.
it makes it easier, and they provide assistance and support so that you understand what you have, what you're doing, why you're taking this money out, or why you're saving this money, pre-tax dollars. Just, they manage it, they help you to manage yourself.
But they also have another entity where it's an investment.
Yes, they do, but
I
that's
do know
not, that
that.
doesn't have any, you're right.
I know, that doesn't have anything to do with the school
Mm-hmm.
corporation, but it is an investment company,
Yes.
basically, okay. But if our employees wanted to invest, would they have that opportunity?
If we make that available, yes, we can, just like Equitable. Like if we, like our 403B, we have Equitable, we have a couple of companies that you can take out annuities with them, and they will invest your money for you.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
Yep.
What is Section 125 plan?
Section 125 plan is just when you have the opportunity to take out pre-tax dollars for your medical expenses.
Okay. No, sir.
Madam President.
Yes, sir, trustee.
So my question is, Ms. Simmons brought up Aflac. Why move to another organization?
We have Aflac now, and we have HSA now.
Yeah.
Aflac, okay, Aflac picks up, they pick up more than that. Aflac, if you get an Aflac and say you're homesick, yeah,
That's a
it's
supplemental
supplement.
insurance.
They help you have money to pay for additional medical expenses, and they help you pay for, you can use the money towards rent, you can use the money towards utilities,
Yeah.
all types of things. So Aflac is a little bit different from HSA. You can only use it for medical, okay?
Right.
HSA and FSA can only be used for medical. As a matter of fact, FSA makes you upload receipts on a regular basis to verify, and they will deny certain expenses too. But you have to upload receipts in their app or their portal to verify that this indeed is an allowable expense, because you don't want to get to the end of the tax year and you're filing and you've taken these pre-tax dollars out and this expense is not something that's going to be covered. So a lot of
Yeah.
times you have to upload receipts or EOBs, which is your explanation of benefits.
So Aflac is basically a supplemental insurance for whatever your insurance doesn't cover. If you get hurt at work, or not hurt at work, but if you just get hurt, period, and say an accident, you got to be off of work, you only get, I think, 60% of your pay, and you could get that supplement income, the other 40%
You're out
from
for-
Aflac.
If you're out for
Yeah, for anything.
a surgery
Or surgery,
something,
yep,
and you
mhm.
don't have any days left, and you can tap into Aflac and they'll pay for
Then
it.
HSA and FSA, those are more used, like you said, for co-pays, medications, prescriptions.
Correct.
Your hospital bills, your medical bills, yep. And they even have, depending on what provider they use, they even have like their own online store where you could buy over-the-counter medications like vitamins and Band-Aids and anything that's medical related. Durable medical equipment, you can use
Yes.
your HSA or FSA for.
Yes,
So
and you can use it on Amazon
you sure
to
can.
make purchases.
You sure can.
For medical things,
So I raised that question because Ms. Simmons mentioned Aflac. Is this organization replacing one that we have currently?
Aflac, no.
No, this,
The
American
current
Fidelity.
HSA that we have.
the American Fidelity one? Are they replacing something that we currently have in
Just
place?
the HSA.
Okay.
No, you don't want them
HSA is connected to Porter Trust.
to? You're right. Oh, but we gotta
Oh.
wait another year.
Okay.
Sorry about that. She did say we gotta wait one more year.
Okay, so basically, they just offer, again, just to clarify, they offer the service to the staff, basically to be that support, to educate them on their benefits.
Yes.
How to enroll, because that could be very overwhelming, very cumbersome. So they just pretty much remove that administrative piece from your benefits department
Yes.
at no cost to the district.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And is this a long-term proposal?
We would like it to be, but at this point, we renew them at the time that we renew all the other ones.
So is this for a year then?
We renew our insurance across the board, even Aflac every year.
Okay.
So August is renewal month, so it will be up for renewal, and you can join in August also.
Okay, thank you.
Madam President, I do have a question, and it's similar to what Trustee Gomez was asking. Will there be a contract that'll later come before the board? I mean, right now, this is kind of fashioned as a request for approval of the proposal, but some of the things we talked about would be answered in an agreement. So is the next step that you have authority to move forward to act on their proposal, but there'll be certain things reduced to writing, so there's an agreement? Yes. Right? Okay.
Right, this proposal is, I guess I wasn't following what you were
So
saying.
there would have to be an agreement between American Fidelity and the school
And the school
corporation.
board, right.
So, for example, they're going to have access to all of our employee information, right? So there's certain assurances that
Okay,
they have to
yes.
provide us to protect us.
Absolutely.
That's the stuff I'm looking
Absolutely.
for.
Yes, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood.
So can we remove this from the agenda until the
Well, I think
contract?
they're wanting to do it in a two-step process.
Okay.
I think they want the proposal approved so they can now go back
I see.
and hammer out the details of an agreement. I just want to make sure the agreement comes back to you.
Understood, thank you.
If there aren't any other questions regarding American Fidelity, our last agenda item is the approval of certified administrator contracts for the 2024-2025 school year.
Got 2 private work sessions going. I figure out why y'all got a private work session in the work session. Me and Jewel just want to go eat.
So just for clarification, item 6.11 is the approval of certified administrator contracts for the 2024-2025 school year. These are not the contracts for the 25-26 school year.
Right, okay, that's his conversation.
Well, then I have a question, because 2 of the contracts do go out to 26.
Yes, they do.
Correct. So if there was a new employee hired this year as administrator according to Indiana state law, they do get a 2-year contract.
hired this.
They were hired.
They were hired this year.
Correct.
Okay.
So, now, my question too, is everybody on here, are these all teachers?
Yes, these are all the certified administrators.
No, I asked
Who-
you if they teachers.
No, they're administrators.
Administrators, that's
Yes.
what I want them to make it clear, 'cause it says a regular teacher contract. Go ahead, trustee, what was we talking about, this is.
We gotta get on the
Before you
mic.
do that, let me speak to that. Let me speak to that, just so there's no
Yes,
confusion.
please.
So they don't necessarily have to be teachers. If they're certified, they're
Okay.
required to go on a teacher's contract.
So they don't have.
But they don't necessarily have to be teachers per se, but they are certified.
So, but if they're not teaching, this is where this confusion comes in.
Yes.
that We was talking about this MOU, that right there, see, they're not teachers.
Right,
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's where all this come in at. So
yep.
that's why we gonna.
It's the certification that triggers the requirement to put them on a
That's
teacher
right.
con, even our
That's what I'm-
superintendent's on a teacher contract.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
So
he's
we gonna talk
certified.
about that in the next
Yeah.
good session.
So I can get clarification.
Go ahead, Trustee Smith. So we.
No, because I get confused with all of this too.
I'm telling you.
Because I think administration should be
Get
on.
your-
the-
Make sure your mics are on.
Yeah,
I
right.
just think that I'm confused with
They
it
should be.
also, and I've been on this board 6 years. I just think that an administrative contract should be on an administrative contract.
That's right.
And a teacher's contract should be on a teacher's contract.
They not
I
teachers.
believe
Okay,
we're, ta-
Miss Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr.
If
K, go ahead.
No, were you finished, trustee Smith?
No,
I'll let
she
you
not.
finish.
No one finished talking, you on the road. No, I just.
We appreciate the comment, but I believe we did identify the fact that this was Indiana statute, that the policy can't change. So even though we appreciate and we understand, yes, they should be on administrative contracts. The statute says all administrators in Indiana have to have a teacher contract.
Oh, the Indiana statute,
Yes.
okay, because when you
If
say
they're
the
certified.
policy
If
can't
they're
be-
If
certified.
they're non-certified, then the administrators can only be on an
Okay.
administrator contract.
Well,
So-
make it clear, because I was getting ready to say, when you say the statutes or policies, I'm like, we could change our policy.
Right, no.
But that's the state statute.
It is state law
Oh,
that
okay,
certified administrators have to be on a teacher contract.
But even
But
though
those
they're
that are
not-
non-certified can only be on an administrator contract. That'd be okay.
And even though they're not teachers.
Yes.
Correct.
That's what,
And
that's
what
the main
consti-
point I'm making. They're not teachers.
And
Go
what
ahead.
constitutes as certified is a license?
Yes,
Yes.
some type of license, yes.
A license and also their retirement. They are paid into PERF. No, they're paid into TURF and not PERF. So I'm paid into PERF because I'm non-certified, but they are certified teachers, so they have to go into the TURF. They cannot be paid into PERF. That's the reason they're on the teacher's contract. It's two different things in the state of Indiana.
We get it now.
So those were the questions for item 6.11, approval of certified administrative contracts for the 2024-2025 school year.
Okay. Not 25, 26.
That is correct.
Right.
We deal with that when
No, he
26.
said in, no, he
No.
said in July.
Right, okay.
That's what he said in July. That's me and his private conversation going on over
Now,
here.
what was in July?
Well, you see it on the docket,
Okay.
the real stuff.
Those are all the items for the June 10th board meeting.
Yes, it is. So,
Madam President,
hold on, Trustee Gomez.
yeah, we do have 4 policies. Did we want to
Yes, we do.
review
Trustee-
those?
Yeah, Trustee Rodriguez, are you still there?
Yes, yes.
He's there, he's there.
Joy, you done went to bed on me now, I see your smiley face here, but we don't see you.
Okay.
Okay, that's right.
You got 4 policies that you want to put on this
No,
agenda?
I'm still here, I'm still here.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
They're not on the agenda right
Oh, they're
now,
not.
but they're going to be added, right?
Yeah.
Is that, and all these are on first reading, is that correct?
Correct,
Okay,
Only first readings.
that's my understanding.
yes.
Okay. Because I'm not doing no first, second at one time, no first reading. That's just point blank, because we have to make sure these policies are on point and accurate and following state guidelines. Okay, and no hanky-panky, because we know how policies can get. Our government has taught us that.
okay.
Okay, are we done?
Yes. Can we adjourn the meeting?
So you're gonna have, how many policies you
Secretary,
put on
roll
there?
call, please.
4. Okay, well, I guess,
Wait, hold on. You're saying there's 4 policies?
Yes.
Let's see. So I've got the requirement for, let's see, policy 0166.3 is a new policy regarding the proposed requirement for presentation of business items at consecutive meetings prior to approval. PO 0166.1 is a revision to the current consent agenda policy regarding a requirement that the personnel report include all information. PO 03440, oh, it's all combined in one, and PO 0440, amendments to the current policy regarding job-related expenses. I got it.
So,
It's 4.
okay, so I need to get those. When can I get them?
Sorry. So they were emailed out earlier today. If you want to stay afterwards, we could have them printed,
Sure.
so you have a hard copy. Well, maybe not. Or not.
Like you said.
We's a lot of people,
No,
isn't it?
No, I can get them tomorrow. I can get them tomorrow.
Tomorrow we close.
Oh, y'all is?
Yes, ma'am.
Wait a minute, we got the section tomorrow.
Tank, Dana.
My bad.
Oh, you close tomorrow?
Yeah, we are, y'all not.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm glad you said that.
Me too.
Oh, yeah, well, I get it Monday then.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I will.
As soon as
Well,
we
when is the
adjourn,
meeting?
as soon as we adjourn,
Okay, roll call, roll call.
Then I'll make, you have to make a motion.
Or make a motion to close the meeting out.
I thought I made.
Make the motion, yes, you did.
Trustee Gomez.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yes, motion made by trustee Gomez.
Second.
And second by trustee Smith. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Trustee Gomez.
Yes.
Ooh, yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
I was gonna say, he gonna say.
Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Madam President Gibson.
Yes. Meeting is adjourned.